And Kaneki seems to like he's losing to his own freaking ghoul and humanity within himself, and a little bit of romance, and even a little bit of sadness. So like, this episode of Ghoul just showed how much development we just had in just one episode. Like everyone, I felt like in this episode got something developing while they were going on. So we found out that Shinohara is alive, that actually Kaneki was not actually eating him, that he was actually eating his Arata, his Kakucha. And finding out that pretty much what's been going on is that Kaneki has been eating other ghouls, all the stuff like that. And that's why he's got the half Kakuja form, that he's actually becoming a cannibal and actually eating other ghouls. Because I feel like in a way he really doesn't want to eat humans and all that. So it's like, hell, if I just eat the bad ghouls or something like that, or just do that. So that's like why like he's probably losing his mind. And also as well, I believe that since, you know, he hasn't been like feeding as well on humans, that I think he's actually starting to like lose himself a little bit. And that's just why he's probably battling with his like humanity, maybe. Like he's still trying to fight off the hunger or something like that. Like, I really am not quite sure and all that. But it's like, throughout this episode, like, we didn't really see much of Kaneki at all. Like, it was honestly just a lot of just him, like, back with Aogiri, and he was just, like, screaming in agony and pain and all that. And it's just like, God, like, his freaking Kakuja is coming out. He really needs to try and suppress. Honestly, the ones that had the spotlight in this episode, honestly, was Juzo and Amon in this one, and Akira, because they was just getting tons of the development. We see, like, that Juzo, like, she was, like, actually raised by ghouls, and like the big man used to do like fucked up things to him, like grab like his freaking balls and rip them off with the pliers, and that explains why he's like so high pitched for his age and stuff like that. And just like used to be like one of the cleanup people as well, like in the giant restaurant and all that. And during like an invasion where Shinohara and his group actually got there and tried to invade him and take him out and all that, we actually did. That's how they managed to get Juzo there and actually raise him and actually made him become an inspector and all that. And I kind of had like a really nice moment where like in this episode and all that, it's like where we saw like Juzo and Shinohara together at like the zoo, and they're like sort of felt like a father-son sort of partner kind of thing. Like they're like, Juzo is like, you know, really kind of only just realizing, you know, I'll be really upset and all that if if you die and stuff like that. It's like, wait, what Shinohara said to him. So I was like, I kind of feel really bad, because like, it's like, you know, Juzo's only just started now to realize, you know, sort of things about, like, humanity and all that, even though he's been doing, like, a bunch of fucked up stuff and all that. And he couldn't help it. This explains why a lot of this character, that he was raised up by a very fucked up ghoul, so he honestly couldn't do anything really about it. But it was like, honestly, I thought that was kind of like one of the best parts of the episode, finding out more about Juzo. Now, what we found out with the other group, going back to, you know, with Toka and all them, like, Toka's just studying and all that. And honestly, she didn't really have anything. I remember in the manga as well, like, just, this is, like, the only thing we really saw of Toka just doing, that she was studying, and she was hearing about all the events that happened with Kaneki, and it was, like, honestly, really did not add a lot to the story, honestly. Like, the parts that were really good and all that was the stuff that was going on with Amon and Akira as they go out to eat, and they're getting drunk, and I just remember that bit in the manga where just Akira just gets drunk and she's like, yeah. It's just so fucking funny what she's doing. It's just like out of fucking nowhere. She's like so good those, and then she's like, I freaking love you. It's just out of nowhere, and it was hilarious. And it's like, this is why Akira is like one of the best characters. She's awesome and all that. And when she get back to like actually her place with Amon, and she's like super fucking wasted and drunk, and them talking, saying, you know, it's your fault that my father died and all that, since, you know, it seems like only what inspectors care about is actually just like, you know, oh, I only care about getting higher up in the ladder and stuff like that. And she pretty much asked and all that. It's like, my father was a great inspector, you know, he didn't climb up the ladder and all that. It's like, it was kind of sad to see Akira kind of blame him on for that. And it's like, yeah, I'm a failure like that. I should have been there. If only if I was stronger, I could have saved your father and all that. And it's like, it was kind of emotional just to see that these two might have a thing for each other and all that, because when you saw like Akira there saying, please stay, Amon, and he's like, I'm a fucking idiot and all that, as he like drives, and he's just like spends the whole night up there, and he's just literally freaking doing push-ups and all that. It's like, he's doing that since like the crack of dawn like that, doing like about 7,000 push-ups and all that. It's like, I give him push for that. I struggle not just to do 15 push-ups. This man did 7,000 or so and like that, so I respect him for that. I'll be dead after probably about 30 or so. But it's like, regardless of what, like, I think that was a really important part of the episode, and it was like really big like development for both Akira and Amon. And honestly, it was just kind of like a nice little touch with like the two like sharing a meal and enjoying stuff. But now the ending of this episode now we've got a whole hand-picked squad about an owl suppression unit and Awagiri that all like these elite freaking like those are gonna go straight after them and take down Awagiri and stuff like that. So that shit was fucking awesome. Really enjoyed that. I thought that was like some insane shit and like shows, yeah, there's going to be another war approaching soon. There's going to be a pretty big fucked up war that's approaching, and I'm highly excited and anticipating for this next one. One thing I want to mention, because I normally don't talk about the endings and all that, definitely showed like this is actually the first time that we've actually seen Banjo, and from how like it was showing and all that, it was showing that the battle between Kaneki and Shinohara on the TV, and it had Hinami, Tsukiyama, and Banjo there. So it's kind of showing that, you know, Banjo is hanging out with like Tsukiyama and like Hinami, like they got their own group. It's like honestly something else that's very interesting about the manga. I would highly recommend probably after finishing the series. I'd imagine like manga and all that, but it's like it's kind of like interesting that we haven't actually had anything with him in the actual series yet with Banjo, because I remember he takes like a more important part in the series after like the whole Awagiri arc. So yeah, it's kind of curious like where he's really honestly been and all that, since we haven't really seen him at all like in the show. I think we like saw him for like one part and that was it. So yeah, overall it was a good episode and all that. A lot of development between Juzo, getting about his backstory, a little bit of Shinohara development there. What's this about Akira Amon? And I'm sorry, I just laughed my ass off when we saw like Akira just drunk there. That was fucking hilarious. And also as well, seeing like Kaneki's starting to like lose control and like lose control of like his humanity, it seems like. So on that, really good episode. Was a little bit preach heavy and all that, and like a little bit dialogue heavy and all that, and you know, we kind of really didn't need to see with like Toka's group and all that, because they honestly wasn't doing too much in this episode. So honestly it was like a 7.5 to an 8. Like it was a really good episode, but yeah, some parts were like kind of like felt a little bit slow paced and all that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this episode. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next